Hello there, welcome to today's session. At this point, you should have everything that you need to generate a topographical map in place, be it physical features, man-made features, also relief. So we are going to learn about how you can create a layout. So after you've done most of your mapping, then it may be time for you to do the final polishing up the final touches before you can export the map for printing. So before you do that, I'm going to maybe remove some of the layers that I don't need. That is a reasonable thing to do. So your map at this point is a bit cluttered. It has so many things. If it has things that you don't need, like this surface, for the final map you can just remove it. I don't think there is a problem with that. I don't think there is anything here that needs to be omitted. I can omit these spot heights. They have done most of the job. The trees here, I don't need to label the trees because they'll be coming inside the legend. The legend will pretty much explain what all of these symbols represent. So after you do that, now it is time for you to create a layout for this map. So you'll go to here, the view menu, and then you click on layout view. It will open something looking like this. So this one is what we call the layout view. This is where you do the final map preparations for printing. You can switch between the two views, the data view and the layout view, from the status bar here using these small icons. When you click on this one, the data view, it will bring you back to the data view. If you want to switch back to the layout view, just click on that small icon that looks like a book or a paper. So after you do that, now it is time for you to select the layout you want. The layout you want will depend on the kind of map you have. I prefer to use landscape mode. You can see this one is a portrait type of layout. Portrait means the height is longer than the width, and layout, landscape layout will imply that the length of that paper that you want to print on will be longer than the width. So I need to change this to another layout. Make sure it is a 4 if you're going to print in a 4 or a 3 or a 2 and so on. And you also make sure that it is set to landscape view. So before you do any of this, you need to activate the layout tool. So you come to toolbars, make sure the layout tools are active. So if they are not active, come to toolbar here, then activate layout tool. So these ones are your layout tools. These ones, you can drag the tools to here, any point. I prefer to pin them there. So this icon here is the one that you're going to use to alter the layout. So you just click on it once, and then when it comes here, you go to ISO page sizes. You select the page size depending on the paper that you have available, or whichever way you want to print out your final map. This may also depend on the scale of the map you are using, the geographical extent that you've just mapped, apart from just the relative the sizes of the paper that are available. So I'm going to select ISO A4 landscape and then click on finish. After it does that, this is how the ISO A4 landscapes looks like. You click on this one, this black box that is housed in our map, what we normally call a knit line. So this one is the knit line. I'm going to resize it a bit like that. I'll leave some space here for the title, resize it to that end, maybe to down there. I'm going to place, I want to place most of my map items here. I can do that at the bottom here or here. It is just up to preference. So you can see our map. Ideally the map should be occupying at least 3/4 of the page, or just 3/4 of the neat line. Not even 3/4 of the neat line. It should ideally fill up that neat line. So I need to zoom this one so that it fits inside this space. So I'll go back to my data view and I'll go zoom it a bit. Then I go back to my data frame view. So this is what I have. So I've zoomed to a considerable level. Most of the things are visible, but I need to zoom in a bit more. So that is a scale of 1 to 800. Not bad, but most of the map is hidden on this side. I'm going to have to drag it a bit. So you use this pan tool, this one resembling a hand. So if it is not visible, again you come to customize, make sure your tools toolbar, this one is active. So click on this one, then you pan. Pan means you're moving it. You can move it like that. You hold down your mouse, left click on your mouse, hold it down, and then you drag the mouse to move your map to a different location. So I'm going to move it until everything that is mapped is fits inside the neat line. There is 2106 there, and then there is that one. This one is cut off, that one also cut off at the very top. So I'm just going to zoom them in a bit. Some amount of trial and error here. Then shift it to this direction a bit. And then there a bit like that. That is much better. That is much better. So I'm going to insert some elements. We are going to start with we can start with the north arrow. You select whichever variation of the north arrow pleases you. I'm going to use this one. Here it is. Drag it to where you want to station it. I'm going to put it there. You can put it here along the margin. So this one is the margin, or you can put it inside the map, as long as it is visible and then it is not obstructing anything. So I'm just going to station it there. I'm also going to insert another item, and before I even proceed with this one, or let us just finish this one. So you're going to do also a scale bar. I'm going to choose this alternating scale bar and then OK. I'll drag it somewhere here, perhaps there. Too much space inside this map, so I'm going to drag this on a bit. I want to station my scale bar there. So you'll put it there, and then right click on it once it is selected. So select it, right click on it, go to its properties, and after it opens, we need to set the units to metric units. You see here it is using miles, and in most countries, in this case we are dealing with a place in Kenya, we don't use imperial units, we prefer to use metric units. So I'm going to set this one to read meters or kilometers. So I'm just gonna go with meters, and then I OK. So fits very well there. I can maybe resize it a bit. Much better. Also insert maybe a title. You see this one is topographical, so do it in caps, capital letters, topographical map, or just topographical details for a portion of TOMP. the title is very important. It should describe what your map actually portrays, the subject matter or the theme of the map in that case, or even the location of the map. Ideally, it should capture both the location and the theme of the map. It will depend on the context of the map, the scale of the map, and so on. So in this case, the map is very large scale, and it is not capturing everything on the ground. It's a topographical map that is just a kind of a sample for a topographical map. So it's just capturing some of the physical and man-made features that are appearing on the ground, but not everything. So I have to specify where is the location of this map, and try and be precise on the details that have been mapped in this project. So allocate that one, and then move the title there. When you click on it, it will bring that dialog box, or you can just click on it. Once it's selected, go to properties. It is from here that you can alter things like the font, the spacing, and so on. So I'm going to go here at change symbol. I want to change the font to something else. It is in here Times New Roman. You can make it bold, underline it, increase the size of the lettering, apply here. If it pleases you, you can OK. Drag it to the center a bit like that. And then the next item could be our legend. So the legend, you're only going to put inside the legend the things that are appearing inside your neat line, inside your map face. So anything that is not captured or appearing in the map face should be removed from the legend. So anything that should not be here inside the legend. So all of these are items that will be appearing in your legend. So if you feel that there is something that should not be in the legend or is not appearing on the map, you can move it to this side. So you just click this arrow, it will move it back to this side. If you want something to appear in the legend, you select it here, click this arrow, it will be dragged inside the legend. So I'm looking at all of these points: gate, tank, trees, or fence, pavement, contour features. I don't need to tell anyone what contours are, but you can just leave it at that, no problem. Then there is library, basketball court, layer tints. I think this one is fine. You can go to click next once you're satisfied with everything. You can choose to omit these, or you can just leave it in place, the title. So I'm just going to leave it in place. Click next, click next, click next, and then finish. Once everything is generated, your legend will appear like that. So there you have it. There is your legend with all your contours and everything. If you are not satisfied with the way the legend is appearing, you can make some alterations. So I felt like I needed to remove these contour items, so I'm just going to remove them and see how they appear. The legend is it's not cluttered at this point. So some items are, you can omit them, you can choose to omit them from the legend. That is entirely up to you as the author of the map. And then you can OK. Before you produce an end product that is really attractive and appealing to the eye, you need to commit a lot of time to this map design, especially the layout. So there goes the legend. We can do another item, very important, this one. I can add a dynamic text. In this case is the name of the author. So you click on it, then you drag it somewhere on the map. I'll put it there, and then I type here drawn by maybe that, drawn by that person. can apply. So that one is the name of the author. You can insert additional detail. There is a scale text here in the form of a representative fraction. You can also insert that one. Usually it is placed just above our scale bar, so I'm going to change the units for this one also to metric, and scale text format. So up here on the scale text, I'm going to set this one to units, or you can just do, yeah, that one is much better. So it is in the form of a representative fraction. So we have our scale in place, and let me see if there is an additional detail you can put inside our map. Dynamic test, yeah, this one coordinate system. So you insert your coordinate system somewhere on the map. I'm going to put it. I'm going to create space for it. So you put it. You can put it there. You can put those details there. It's taking a lot of space, so I'm going to drag this a bit to the side, so you can insert those details there. The other item I'm forgetting about is the grid. So we need to insert a reference grid or a graticule. So you do that. That one is the only one that you'll be doing from the data frame. So you go back to your data frame, right click on it. You're going to set your graticule or your grid from here. So I'm going to go here to grid, create a new grid. You click there on new. Because the map is very large scale, I'm not going to use a graticule, I'm going to use a measured scale. So next, and then units will be automatically in meters depending on your coordinate system. You click on next, and then you finish, and then you apply. It will not appear here inside the data view, but it will appear in your your layout view. So some details have been obscured by this, so I'm just going to drag it a bit to the side. I think that one is okay. So in our next session will be we'll look at just a short tutorial on how you can export this. We'll finish up, maybe add a couple of details, and then we can try and export this. Thank you for your time. Have a good day.